Hello and welcome. I am Bukola Samuel-Wemimo. Today on Fireworks, we're reaching you from Ibadan, capital of Oyo State, and of course, the center stage of politicking in the southwest. Oyo State, where ethnicity plays a huge factor in the politicking of the state. But today, not as much as other factors like the finances of the state, intergovernmental working relationship, and of course, the approaches to tackling the attendant challenges of governance. We'll be taking on a key player in these issues on the program today. Let's take a short break, during which we'll take a peek into his bio, and we'll be right back. Stay with Fireworks. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching Fireworks. Today on the program, I have with me the Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Honorable Michael Adesina Adeyemo. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
You're welcome.
Now, perhaps we should start from what perhaps would be one of the things that may be most important to your office as Speaker. You are from the minority in Oyo State, where Ibadan takes it all. So what has it been like presiding over the state, so to speak?
It's very challenging.
Why?
And at the same time, very interesting. Even my geopolitical zone has always been involved in governance. We are not marginalized whatsoever in politics of the state. When I say it's very challenging, we have House of Assembly with the configuration of 3 political parties. You know, you have to manage political sentiment, political interest, and political ideology of members.
Now, you recently passed a bill seeking financial autonomy for the legislature from the executive. What inspired this?
We are yet to pass it. It's still at the second reading stage. The essence of that is not necessarily to establish full financial autonomy. The full financial autonomy we are craving for, it has to be a constitutional issue. And the executive of Conference of Speakers are working on that. We narrowly missed the opportunity in the last Jonathan administration. It was passed. The National Assembly also passed it. Only awaits the assent of the president, but unfortunately we couldn't secure that.
You haven't said the reason for this motion.
What I'm saying in essence is that all the states House of Assembly, we are craving for autonomy, not necessarily financially, but autonomy of the House. As we have judicial independence, we also know that it is very vital to drive our democratic tendency and norms and principles that the legislative house also should be independent. Because if you...
What aspect of the status quo don't you like as Oyo Assembly?
Well, the status quo has to do that now, like we have it in the National Assembly, they have first online charge.
So you like to be on the first line chat?
Definitely, that is the way. Like we have it in judiciary.
You don't want to have to wait on the executive to do.
The system. Let me give you the picture of what we are passing through in all the legislative House of Assembly. That is the State House of Assembly. We don't have a financial autonomy. We don't have for whatever money you spend, for whatever materials you spend, for maintaining and the running of the house, you must go to the executive.
So you don't like that?
It's not a matter whether I like it or I don't. It's just a matter of can he help our system?
So it hampers the business of legislating in the State Assembly.
And it is against the principle of democracy, checks and balances. How do we...
So that informed the strike that members of the State Assembly embarked upon recently?
No, Assembly doesn't go on strike. We are not a trade union. It's just, it's just some member decided to absent from sitting. We actually had a sitting that day, but some members, though, haven't listened to them. They have genuine reason for that, staying away from sitting, and we eventually come together as one. What they are saying also involve everybody. So we cannot single out any members as...
so that is responsible for the, lack of activity that we find in the Oyo Assembly in recent times. Not necessarily because this is the festive season. Because we spoke to, our informants before coming, and they said nothing much has really been happening in the State Assembly because the executive hasn't paid your allowances, your furniture allowances, your wardrobe allowances, your car allowances, and in the 7th Assembly, they got their car allowances.
In spite of all those things, this House activities have never been hampered or hindered whatsoever. We've recorded number of sitting far above any other legislative arm in this state, in this country. You can check, the records are there, you can go thereafter and check. We've passed a lot of bills, motions, which has direct impact on the governance. You
said those that stayed away, they had genuine reasons for staying away.
Yes, it is allowed. It is allowed. It is something you can
What were those genuine reasons?
The genuine reason is talking about the welfare of members. But at times we may have a genuine cause, but approach at times may be faulty. So we let them see reason. I've been in this assembly before. I'm a second timer. I know how we operate, and I know we related with the executive.
So have you asked the governor why your welfare hasn't been taken care of?
We all know the reason.
You don't need to ask him, for instance, to tender an explanation as to the current finances of the state, for him to give you figures.
Let me say this. We are all partners in the business. We know what is happening. When workers have not been paid regularly, how do we now expect? If we have that financial sustainability, the workers will not be owned.
Are you speaking for the governor?
I'm not speaking for the governor.
Are you defending the governor?
I'm not defending the governor, but it will be very, very, very unfair for you to be involved and say something contrary. We are elected by the people. The workers that elected us are also share the pain. What we are saying is we have to sacrifice. Good enough. We have a listening governor. I worked with him in the last assembly, in the 7th assembly, and he listened to us. It's just a matter of communication breakdown, which eventually we resolve.
So if it has been resolved, what is he saying about his inability to pay your allowances?
Well, the finances of the...
Or it doesn't bother you because you're the speaker?
Not necessarily. I'm affected too. As a speaker, I've not enjoyed 1% of the privilege attached to the office. 1% of it. Whatever members are requesting for, their demand also. It's part of my own demands too. So I can't say...
So do you know the state's current finances?
We know.
Tell us. Let's know.
Well, from the information we have, our allocations are dropped. So what we are now...
Other states have had their allocations dropped as well.
So those states are also facing the same challenges. My interaction with other speakers too, they even comment that our own is even far better than their own situation. However, we are not saying we will not agitate.
So the last time you got your allowances was in August?
Well, up to date, our allowances have been paid, only the salaries, which we know that workers too are affected. So the running cost of the house is being paid up to date regularly. That was part of the agreement we reached, because there is no way we have this without the running.
So what is your position concerning the salaries being owed workers?
Well, that is part of what the government is trying to do, financial engineering of the states. We are over-dependent on federal allocation. Most states, that will happen. It's only Lagos State that break the break away from that mentality of dependence on federal allocation. However, with what we are seeing, with the projection we have, and with the budget recently presented, we know that things will improve in couples of months.
Now, your state's current IGR is 1.2 billion naira per month. Am I correct?
Well, if you say so, that happens to be 60% of workers' salary accounted for that IGR. Where workers are not being paid, what will happen to the IGR? Because part of the IGR is also part of their taxes.
Now, the Adeyemo administration has had 5 years to shore up this IGR. Why has it been unable to do so in 5 years? Why hasn't it come up with creative ways to improve this IGR in 5 years?
You know what we have to, before we can say he has not worked on the IGR, we have to know what was the IGR before he came in 2011. I think where we are today is part of his efforts. We are part of the last administration too. So we are, and that is one of the...
In 2010, it was 10 billion naira annually. In 2012, there's no record of the IGR in 2011, but in 2012, the figure on the federal government's internal generated revenue website is 14 billion. So that's an increase of about 4 billion naira.
Well, so it shows that the government is working on it.
Okay, so give us the current annual IGR in 2015.
And I can assure you, we are yet to have...
If it is still 1.2 billion naira per month, then that means it has remained at the level of 14 billion naira since 2012, and we are in 2015. So there hasn't been any increase since 2012.
We cannot say that there is no increase.
But you haven't given us any figures.
I'm not in a position to supply the figure. I'm a legislator. If you need the figure...
But it is your responsibility to know these figures because you're representing the people.
We have the budget.
And the figures directly impact on the lives of the people.
You are talking of annual. The budget was recently presented. We are yet to have the details. From the details, we can have the totality of the annual internally generated. Then the Minister of Finance will come up and explain to us.
So you feel no need to know it in anticipation?
Right. I'm saying we are about to have the details for us to have the record. You are referring to annual. We are yet to have the details of the budget. From the details of the budget, we can know what comes from the federal, the total. We can know what is the internally generated revenue. Then I can give you that figure now.
You still feel no need to know this in anticipation as a lawmaker?
Must we act on anticipation or we act on...
You do not necessarily have to act on anticipation. You just must know it.
You have to rely on speculations, and that cannot be verified. Anything I'm going to tell you must be verifiable.
You can verify from the FIRS website.
Well, that is it. This is my own state. This is our own state. We rely on the records we have. They supplied us. Have they supplied the annual to the FIRS? They are yet to do that because the year is still running.
All right. Now, if you are in position on the same page with the governor where this is concerned, some lawmakers also said that the decision to boycott plenary is as a result of what they term a protest at the style of which the state is being run. So what do you have to say about that?
You just informed me. From the information and my interaction with the members of the House of Assembly, we've never had any disagreement as how the state is being run. We have an avenue where we interact, we lodge our complaint, we give observations, we give advice to the
So the administrative style of the state is satisfactory where you are concerned?
Even though it's not satisfactory, it is not necessary that we blow it out to the members of the public. We employ a system of engaging ourselves with the executive. And if possible, we have a resolutions we've passed, and we've communicated these resolutions, and we follow it up for implementation. We have come together and we have discussed this issue one by one, and the government has promised us that yes, they are going to look into it, and we are going to see improvement very soon. So we have to give room for that, but it will not be hugger for members, even for all of us, or even for the stability of the state, that we should come to the front of newspaper or to the news media, or these things are not going. No, a responsible legislative chamber or arm of government will never do that. We let them know we are arm of government, we are closer to the people.
Honorable Speaker, I'd like to know more about the reasons why you wouldn't do that. But that will be after this break. You're watching Fireworks. I have been talking with the Speaker, Oyo State House of Assembly, Honorable Michael Adesina. Stay with Fireworks. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying tuned to Fireworks. In the last half hour, we've been talking with the Speaker of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Honorable Michael Adeyemo. And we've been looking at events in the state in the past few weeks, disagreements between the State Assembly and the Executive and the approaches to tackling this. Now, before we went on break, you said you were telling me that you would rather not magnify, the administrative styles that the House may have reservations about, if I got you correctly. Now, why would you not ask these questions, these cogent questions about styles of governance? We're going to return, to the issue about state assemblies, legislators boycotting plenary. But why, as Speaker, wouldn't you ask these critical questions?
We do ask questions, but not coming to the pages of newspaper or the media to ask questions. You know where the answer to the questions are. You go directly to the person involved and you engage. In
meetings behind closed doors?
Anyhow, it's a meeting. We do have meetings, we do engage ourselves, we do meet regularly. The leadership of the House meet with the executive arm of government. You see, legislative arms and the executive arms of government, because of the sensitive nature of these two arms, the moment you let people or you blow the trumpet of what is happening, other external factors we take advantage, and that may.
Speaking of which, they're calling for the governor to resign if he's unable to improve the state's finances.
Nobody have said so. Nobody
but the opposition is talking.
Nobody.
The opposition says that Oyo State
are we saying? No, I beg your pardon. How can we say?
To the tune of 70 billion naira.
How can we say these states' finances are best managed compared with other states? So we cannot say that the governor failed or has not done anything to improve the finances of the state. What we are saying, there is room for improvement, and the financial engineering. So
you see nothing wrong with a state's inability to shore up its revenue in 5 years?
What happened in 5 years? Have we not been able to meet up our responsibility in 5 years? Down the line? No. We all know the purpose, we all know the effect, we all know the reason for sudden financial mess we find ourselves.
What is the reason?
That is general economic downturn. We over-dependence on oil, and we know what happened in the oil markets as to price. Do not forget, these states have not enjoyed political stability as other states, Lagos State, have enjoyed. We've been having a change of government, change of parties, coming into power with different policies. It is this government that is trying to lay the foundation.
2011 to 2015 is not enough.
It's not enough.
For the government to put its house in order.
Do you know what it takes?
What does it take? Tell us.
It takes a lot. We start from legislative work by putting enabling law in place, by sensitizing the people on the program the government is coming to put in place. We have a very dynamic state that you cannot just come and introduce anything without engaging the stakeholder, the people involved, without necessarily having the legal framework to back your program and vision. However, we've done a lot. This administration have done a lot. Governor Adeyemo have done a lot. I'm not his spokesperson.
Are you his spokesperson?
I've said so. I said I'm not his spokesperson.
Oh, perhaps that explains it. The opposition says this state assembly is an appendage of the executive.
Do you want me to?
Are you the governor's
No,
speech?
do you? No, never, and I can never be. Do you want me to tell what is not true? I told you, I'm part of this administration, right from 2011 to date. I know what has been the situation in the state. I know what is happening now. It's better off, and there's room for improvement. And we are moving towards that.
When government
has that hope, everybody believe. For instance, let me tell you, this legislative arm in the past has always been ridden with crisis, one way or the other. But during the time we have Governor Adeyemo in place, we've enjoyed relative stability in the House, right from 2011 to date. It has not been like that. We just have to, before we can say, has there any improvement, what was the situation before him and what was the situation now?
When a government is unable to pay salary, that is a breach of the social contract between the government and the governed.
Definitely, it may be a breach.
The government is, by extension, saying we're unable to do what you elected us for.
Let me tell you this. We are not saying, the government is not saying it cannot pay.
But it is unable to.
He is paying, not as at when due. There is a difference not paying at all. Delay does not mean that it's not paying. And that delay, the gap in delaying the payment is getting close. And that shows that, yes, there is room for improvement and the government is putting the effort to do that. Let me tell you, the expectations of members of the public as regards the legislative arm, we should not be in confrontation with the executive all the time. We are stakeholders. We must not rock the boat. We have to be a solution.
Some state assembly members do not think that they are stakeholders. Already 20 of them boycotted plenary. And you have 18 APC members. That suggests that perhaps 6 or 8 out of APC members have gone the way of the Accord Party and the Labour Party members in the State Assembly.
Do we still
so
have...
Tell us now, does that suggest that the APC caucus in the Oyo State Assembly has been factionalized as a result of this?
The caucus is still in
this
that.
Delay in paying your allowances.
You see, that is one of the reasons why we say we don't blow our trumpet outside. Members of the public, particularly the press, will always look for loopholes to capitalize on. That is just a figment, just a little of what happened, and it was blowing beyond imagination. The sitting was never affected in any way, in spite of the boycott. We still have our business of the day. It's only when we are unable to sit that you can say the boycott is effectual.
20 boycott. Are you trying to play this down, Honorable Speaker?
Boycott.
Are you trying to play the crisis in the State Assembly down?
We don't have crisis. I'm telling you, we don't, and we will never have crisis.
Let me tell you, members boycotted plenary.
It's not an issue.
And you say all is well.
It's not an issue.
Okay, it's not
can I give you a picture of what happened in the National Assembly? The last sitting they had on Thursday or Tuesday, how many members sat? You have a House of Representatives of about 400 or so, or thereabout. How many were there?
360.
How many were there? What matters is the quorum. The rules of the House does not even say everybody must present.
Does 12 form a quorum in the State Assembly?
Yeah, it's a quorum of 32 members. It's a quorum, and we had our sitting. We had the business of the day. Those who decided to not to come or to absent themselves explain their reason, and they apologize. And that is why we keep on moving from there.
How can you prove that they apologize for not coming for plenary? How can you prove it to us?
Because some of them are new members. The legislative operations is yet clearly known to them.
So you're saying that the APC caucus in the House is not factionalized?
It's not factionalized.
Why should we believe you?
You can go ahead and ask. Because you have, there's definitely, when we have relationship, when you are in a place, definitely there will be a little misunderstanding. That does not mean that the House has collapsed. It's normal for two people to disagree. It's a normal thing. The normal thing is for them to have the ability to bring themselves back, have and see where they go wrong. And that has been settled.
Oh, so it is now they are wrong. They didn't get their welfare. Now it is they are wrong because they boycotted.
Yes, you are fighting for what is statutory, but approach at times, timing at times.
Is it because the
we believe
APC has threatened to sanction the members that boycotted?
They were not even invited. They were not even invited. No
when you
invitation.
say they were not invited, who are you talking about?
I'm talking of the party. None of the members was questioned by the party. None of the members was queried by the party. So the fear of sanction never come to play. What we are saying in essence, this is harm of government. We resolve our issues amicably. There may be misconstruction of what will happen, but what we are saying, what they are requesting for acts affected everybody. The agitation is on behalf of everybody.
Honorable
but
Speaker, are you holding this position because perhaps you are seeking a second term as Speaker of the Oyo House of Assembly?
Have I ever said or show interest or show indication that I want to be a Speaker again? I've been in elected position for over, if I've not done well, I won't be re-elected. My re-election was based on performance. First and foremost, I didn't contest to be a speaker. I contested from my constituency. So it is the member of the House that find me qualified and worthy.
So if the members find you qualified again somehow in 2019, you won't turn it down, will you?
Well, it depends. We are far away from 2019. A lot has to be resolved before 2019. Issue of election or coming back as whatever does not even come to my brain now.
Speaker, Right Honorable Michael Adeyemo, I want to thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
We've been talking with the Speaker of Oyo State House of Assembly on fireworks today, Right Honorable Michael Adesina Adeyemo. Are you satisfied with his position on happenings in the state? The ball is in your court. Join us same time next week when we bring you another fiery edition of your preferred program, Fireworks. On behalf of the team, I am Bukola Samuel-Wemimo. Bye for now.